Welcome to picturesque Feel New Sydney, boasting magnificent Sydney Harbour, internationally renowned attractions, iconic landmarks, world's best beaches, a diverse food scene, and the stunning World Heritage listed Blue Mountains. Day or night, stunning Sydney is the place to start your destination New South Wales adventure. Sydney, come feel it all and feel new. Thanks to the New South Wales Government this weekend, we head to Sydney Motorsport Park, boasting 3.93 kilometres of technical floodlit fury to challenge Australia's best riders. Round 2 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championships presented by Motul gets underway with our only night round. Now it's time to take a closer look at the track with a very special Ducati track preview for this round.
Well, here we are at Sydney Motorsport Park, and Steve, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about tonight's Ducati track preview. We get to throw our legs over these new Panigale V4S Superbikes.
They are beautiful, aren't they? And I'll tell you what, Chris, this is the fastest Superbike that Ducati have ever made.
It's very, very light as well, 187 kilos, 216 horsepower. I don't know about you, you scared?
Of course I'm scared, but the thing I like the most about this bike is it brings me back to my glory days because it's styled after the old 916, and how iconic was that?
Well, you were fast on that thing, so let's go and see what they're like.
Let's go.
Well, Steve, I don't know about you, but that was fun.
Oh my God, I cannot believe how far these bikes have come. It may look a little bit like a 916, but it doesn't go like one, it's a weapon.
The track itself though, like it's been a while since I've ridden around Sydney Motorsport Park at night as well. The lights, it's actually, the visibility is really good, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the lights are quite bright around here. There's a lot of them. But there's definitely, what I noticed, a lot of overtaking spots out there. It's like turn 2 as an example. There's 2 lines there. You can go wide into turn 2, but you do risk someone nipping up the inside and doing a block pass there.
There's also the switchback between turns 4 and 5, and then the classic one around turn 8 and into turn 9. There's some really cool places here where you can make up time, where you can lose time, and obviously the run down the straight is very important as well.
Absolutely. I mean, let's remember that this is a GP track. It's a big track. There's plenty of overtaking. There's plenty of speed here. Breathtaking turn 1, but everyone wants to see that run to the finish.
Exactly. No, I loved it, and can't wait to do it again.
I wonder if they'll let us go now.
Very famous number 27 on the front row of the grid there. I'm not sure if Gage Plowman is a Casey Stoner fan or a Jamie Stouffer fan as we get ready to go racing. Junior Cup is go for the first race on today's program, and a great start from the second row of the grid there. I think that may have been yesterday's race victor, making his way forward very early on in this race as the big field tips their way through turn one. The good news is, Steve, that the rain that we've seen consistently falling here all morning looks like it started to abate a little bit, and if this keeps up, we could very well end up with a dry track very soon as the field makes its way down through Motul and into turn two.
Look at that. It is Rossi McAdam who goes wide around the outside and takes up that second spot behind Gage Plowman, who leads the field at the moment. It's all pretty tight, and you can just already see how much that track is drying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll all be on wet tyres as well too, so that's going to be very, very tricky as the race progresses, and the degradation in those Dunlop tyres as we come down into SW Motec corner for the first time. You can see a lot of corner entry speed carried by some riders, whereas others were a little bit nervous going in there for the first time. And we've got a little bit of a breakaway at the front now with a couple of riders just starting to pull a small gap. Yeah, you can see how patchy it is out there. There's a lot of rivers, a lot of standing water. So these guys and girls, because we've got Stevie Middlebrook from Western Australia riding out there this year, who finished 9th last night, I might add, having to be really careful on the track. Through Kawasaki they go, and down the hill, hard on the brakes, is the number 12 Orlando Pierce. Yeah, Stevie's actually up to 8th position in this race as well, so certainly not.
Oh, he's down.
He's down.
No,
that is bike number 12. It looks like that is down. Orlando has hit the deck on the exit of one of the most tricky corners on this circuit, and unfortunately he stopped right next to the Blue Crew signs on his Blue Crew Junior Cup machine. Yeah, Stevie Middlebrook now up into 7th, coached by Steve Martin from Western Australia. Not myself, the Irish Steve Martin, who's also a motorcycle racer. Keep your eye too on also bike number 77, Connor Lewis, having his second year in the championship as well. He's also very, very good on one of these machines and has proven that several times last year. He has a bit of a look over the shoulder as we see a replay there of, unfortunately, on the Blue Crew Junior Cup replay, he's parking his Blue Crew machine right next to the Blue Crew signs. Yes, not a good way to start, but he was fast from start, side by side. How close is this? Connor Lewis is right up there in that 4th spot at the moment. Rossi McAdam leads the way, another Western Australian, coached by Steve Martin. He must be doing something right. Yeah, I'll tell you what, and Rossi McAdam is also having a big year. I think he's also making his debut in the Supersport 300 Championship this year as well. We saw him at Phillip Island riding that machine. Of course, this is the first round for the Blue Crew Junior Cup in season 2025. First opportunity for Chaz Williams to get out there and see what it's all about. Of course, raced in the Mini GP Championship last year with a very incredible debut year for the young man from Queensland, and he's continuing that form on from 2024 into the Junior Cup 2025 first round with the win last night. More news as well. We've got a fleet this year of brand new R15s. The others we've had for 2 or 3 years, but right now all of these guys and girls are on a brand new fleet of R15s, all set up identically the same, and they are giving it their all. But it's good to see those Yamahas out there, and they do really provide really close racing. Well, it's such a great value championship as well, isn't it, Steve? I think about $12,000 gets you in. You get all your leathers, boots, and what a great overtaking manoeuvre there from Rossi McAdam down the inside. We know how slippery it is through Blue Crew, but he pulls it off and gets on the gas and takes a little bit of a lead. Obviously, he's got a fair amount of confidence in the suspension setup that the Blue Crew group have given him on that machine, as they make their way up the back straight past the Blue Crew signs and then into the long left-hander that I reckon is one of the best corners on this Sydney Motorsport Park circuit, around through Yamaha Revs Your Heart corner and out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start finish straight we go. Bit of slipstreaming about to take place. Well, I think that was may have been Phoenix O'Brien having a look over his shoulder, and all he could see was bike number 282 of Xavier Kermy right behind him, pulling out of Hunter Charlotte's slipstream, though it looks like it is Chaz Williams and also Rossi McAdam, both trying to make their way past, and they successfully do that down into Sydney.com corner.
Yeah, good move again by Rossi McAdam, who leads the way, but up the inside goes Chaz Williams, side by side. Later on the brakes, watch on the inside. That is Hunter Charlotte, who wants to get up there too. Takes that inside line. There is a couple of lines here. You can go tight or wide. They both work through that turn too.
You see the corner entry, though, from Connor Lewis, too. He had to stand the bike up and run in a fraction deep there because he was so late and so flowing into that corner on the brakes down there at Motul. Down the hill into SW Motec we come. It is Williams back into the lead now. Conditions so it's looking very, very green after the rain we've had after the last day or so.
It's good to see also the faller earlier, Orlando Piovitas, has got going again. He's actually making his way up through the field. He's up into the points now. He's in 15th, so from last to 15th, it's pretty good going for him.
Well, I think Charlotte's going to have to give up the lead here with all of the riders queuing up in his slipstream to try and get past. In fact, he could go from first back to fourth as they make their way through Sydney.com corner at the end of the AMMF straight. Down and around outside goes Connor Lewis. So Lewis has done a great job there to utilise the slipstream of the three riders in front to move from fourth up into second place as they rub bars and bang elbows on the way out of turn one, the Sydney.com corner, and down into Motul. Once again, no surprise to see that it is Rossi McAdam on board bike number 61, the bravest and latest on the brakes.
He's definitely not scared about the wet patches. He's just running straight over them, not being careful at all, so he is full of confidence, and Rossi McAdam, the Western Australian, leads the way at the moment.
Does it actually ever rain in Western Australia, Steve? You think this may have been the first time he's ever ridden in the rain?
Look, you just put a dark visor on and away you go. It all looks the same.
I have a mate that rides like that, actually. Around the outside now we go. That was a big move there. Was that, I think that may have been Hunter Charlotte that was trying to position himself for the run up the hill. Lewis has gone from the lead on the exit of turn one back to fourth position now in this titanic struggle between these four riders. McAdam back to the front. It is Chaz Williams in second. Third place is Hunter Charlotte. Good drive out of that corner, it looked like, from Hunter Charlotte. He's well positioned now for a late dive on the brakes down into the hairpin as they come past Kawasaki. Here comes Charlotte down the inside. Can't outbrake the two riders in front of him, Chaz Williams and Rossi McAdam, but he does manage to hold off Connor Lewis on board bike number 77.
So good to see that Dunlop supporting these Blue Crew riders once again. All of the guys on the same rubber out there at the moment. They will all be on the wet weather Dunlop tyres.
Oh, look at this battle further back in the field too, Steve. That is, well, how many riders are involved in that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders all having a real good battle. Just goes to show you, it doesn't matter if you're at the front of the field or back in the mid-pack, there are battles going on everywhere.
Yeah, and what a massive dice these guys are going to have, especially as they come into the final lap of their second race. It's going to be pretty incredible to see those guys come over the line, but here is the leading bunch, and it is Chaz Williams again. Chaz Williams, is he one of the new guys this year?
He certainly is. Last night was his first race in the championship. He took the race win. As I said, he's grown up with plenty of racing, but he's also did the Mini GP championship last year. And one thing that was noticeable about him was his racecraft in the final laps. Let's see what he can pull out in this one. He's now slipped back to third position.
Well, he's up.
Back up the inside of Charlotte as they go through Motul corner.
He's up against three very experienced Blue Crew guys in McAdam,
that have all got
Charlotte,
a year under their belt,
and Lewis, who have been in this situation plenty of times. But it is the number 18 down the hill that takes that first spot. Round the outside goes Rossi McAdam again, but he gets put back into second. And it's Chaz Williams who leads.
They are riding the wheels of these things. You can hear a bit of rev limiter action between turns 4 and 5 there at the bottom of the hill as they come out of SW Motec. All legs flapping all over the place as they aggressively go for the gear lever and the brakes at the back of the circuit into Pirelli corner. But it is Williams that's just made a fractional break over the field, Steve. The big question is, can Rossi McAdam, who's shown a fair amount of aggression down into the hairpin, he's got the leg out, he can't quite close up onto Chaz Williams, who's really put in a sensational mid-sector on this last lap of the race as they come up towards the final corners now. There is only 3 corners to go, but look at the slipstream there. It is really working for Rossi McAdam now as he closes right up onto the back of Chaz Williams. The weight differential between those two riders, maybe a few kilos. Is that enough for Rossi McAdam to be able to utilise the slipstream as they come out of the final corner at Yamaha Revs Your Heart and set sail for the finish?
Don't count Connor Lewis out of this either. He's right in that slipstream there. But Chaz Williams has got his head down. He's behind the screen. And at the moment, he's looking good.
As they come towards the line, it is going to be very close. They could be 4 abreast as they come across the line. As they go across the line, I think you'll find it is Chaz Williams that has taken the win over Rossi McAdam and Connor Lewis joining them on the podium. And you can see there confirmation of your results. Chaz Williams takes the win over Rossi McAdam. Connor Lewis in third will be the final rider on the podium. Hunter Charlotte in fourth, Xavier Kermy in fifth, Phoenix O'Brien in sixth, Stevie Middlebrook, a great ride once again from her, the Western Australian doing a sensational job in a debut season in seventh place. Tom Cameron in eighth, Gage Plowman in ninth, our pole sitter, and Charlie Nichols rounds out your top 10.
Jai Strugnall from South Australia in that 11th spot, Callum Campbell in 12th, Ethan Pelgrave in 13th, 14th is Jed Lewis, he fell down a bit. Orlando Piovitis, what a great job from him to get in the points after that crash earlier on. Adam Jordan, Liam Fuchs, and Crew Knight in your top 18.
Plenty more action coming up. We've got Shop Yamaha R3 Cup up next. Well, and welcome back to a sensational Sydney Motorsport Park. Thanks very much to the New South Wales Government and Destination New South Wales as we have a look now at the highlights for Shop Yamaha R3 Cup. And it was a great start from all of the riders on the front row of the grid, but sweeping around the outside was Nicholas Lazos. But as we found out mid-race distance, Steve, he was just a little bit too keen. And you can see there on the AWMF highlights, he was the rider that led them through Sydney.com corner.
He certainly did. He got on the brakes, but it was Nezovic who got through and led the way early on. Now, we expected that he would run away with this, but that wasn't to be because he got had a moment, then got out in the wet grass, and as you know, when you get out there, there's no coming back.
So he tried to pick the bike up and get going again, but it was all too late. The rest of the field had gone. And Hudson Thompson was making his presence felt, and unfortunately he came together with race leader Mitch Simpson as they went into Motor Corner. It was about half race distance. He managed to pick the bike up and get going again, but then unfortunately a big high side brought out an eventual red flag. We also saw this great battle with Nixon Frost, Will Hunt and also Matthew Ritter that went all the way to the end of the race.
Yeah, the young New Zealander riding better and better every time he gets out on track. Massive outbraking manoeuvre there up the inside that he went, and you could just see that was when that red flag came out, and unfortunately the race was ended early.
Now, Shop Yamaha R3 Cup final race for the evening for those guys. Hudson Thompson will not be on the front row of the grid. Valentino Knezovic and Geordie Simpson will be. Mitch Simpson, Nicholas Lazos and William Hunt will start from row 2.
Phoenix O'Brien, Lincoln Knight will be your row 3. Rossi McAdam will start out of 10th position from Western Australia. John Pelgrove, Matt Ritter, Mitchell Cartwright's there. Nixon Frost from New Zealand in 14th. 15th, Jiao Zhao. Zachary Russo in 16th. 17th is Ethan Della. A couple of twins out there, Ethan and Seth. Flynn Jacobs, and what a big field we've got of these R3 Cup races, and cannot wait to get it underway. Of course, the Simpson brothers are out there again. 2 sets of brothers out there, believe it or not, on this one, Phil, which is pretty impressive to see.
Well, a set of brothers and a set of twins.
Yeah.
So the twins, they look identical. You saw them this weekend. They are pretty much impossible to tell them apart.
Looks like we've got an issue with one of the tail lights on one of the bikes. It's okay now.
We're going to see the officials are straight onto that as well, so the rider doesn't get penalised. As Sam Phillips leaves the front of the grid and we get ready to go racing. Shop Yamaha R3 Cup. No Valentino on the front row of the grid means Geordie Simpson is there on his lonesome, but he's swamped as they make their way down towards turn 1 for the first time, Steve. And I think is that Nicholas Lazos that's up into the lead as they go through turn 1. And the Simpson brothers have been relegated to 2nd and 4th position as they make their way. Is that Will Hunt on board bike number 46 at the start of his life? Lazos a little bit out of control, was lucky to not go into the back of of Hunt as they went down into turn one, and the Simpson brothers have taken full advantage.
Yeah, they certainly have. They were the latest on the brakes. They were absolute demons on the brakes. Geordie Simpson and Mitch Simpson down the hill already with a 2-bike lead. Will Hunt takes that third spot at the moment with Nicholas Lazarus, who had a brilliant ride earlier on today, but unfortunately jumped the start. So he's making sure that he didn't do that this time out. I can guarantee you that. But look at the lead that the Simpsons have got already. Absolutely fantastic as they head up the hill through the Racing Road corner.
Well, through the tricky part of the circuit we go. Over that slight water issue that a few of the riders have had, but it's not giving the Simpsons any problem at the moment. Down through Kawasaki. What about Will Hunt's start, Steve? He's come from about the third row of the grid. He's up into third position, and he could be looking at his first podium of the weekend. Yeah, I mean, it'd be fantastic for him if he can pull that off. He's got a decent gap back, hasn't he? Look at the gap he's got. It's pretty even to the guys behind and in front. But once again, it's the brothers fighting it out for glory. Mitch, I think, won last time out. Geordie probably wants it this time, and you know, I'm sure they both want to go home with some winning trophies. Well, Geordie's been taking the prize in the Premier Race and Road Supersport 300 category over the R3 Cup. He'd love nothing more than to put one over his brother, and that's exactly what he does down the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight as they come down and then, well, don't really back off at all as they go through Sydney.com corner with a pretty substantial lead now, out to about 1.8 seconds over Will Hunt in third position. Nicholas Lazos in fourth. Seth Dello is up to fifth position. He's moved forward too, but the big mover, John Pelgrave, 5 positions forward from his grid position. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Oscar Lewis, though, what a terrible start he got. He's gone from near the front of the grid off the start all the way back into 12th spot, so on his way backwards. Nicholas Lazos working his way forward. Pelgrave's up again. Phoenix O'Brien and Matt Ritter. What a ride from him. He's definitely on a bit of a charge, so keep an eye on Matt Ritter back there at the moment in 8th position. Well, we've seen the Simpson brothers battle it out so far this weekend. They nearly came together at Motor Corner Turn 2. What do you reckon's going to go down in this one? How desperate are they going to get? Well, I think they're going to get pretty desperate because they don't have to fix the bikes tonight for the next one. So, I mean, it's you can see how super competitive they are. I mean, they are both like super late breakers. They've already pulled out a gap of 2.7 seconds over the rest of the field. The rest of the field are pretty much doing a similar sort of time, but those two guys in front are 2 seconds a lap quicker at the moment. And Rossi McAdam in the middle of a massive battle back there as well. There's only probably a couple of seconds cover all the riders, I think, from from John Pelgrave in 4th all the way back to Oscar Lewis in 12th position. So the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup has delivered once again. As you mentioned earlier, it was Mitch Simpson, the older of the two Simpson brothers, that took the win in the first race. Geordie's been on the podium many times this weekend. Mitch utilises the slipstream. And Mitch, of course, coming back from that significant hip injury sustained racing in the ProMX Championship. So these guys, they can race anything with 2 wheels, whether it's got slick tyres or knobby tyres. Yeah, no, pretty impressive the way that they ride all bikes. Supermoto, all sorts of different things they ride. Do a lot of training on the Supermoto bike, actually, back in Adelaide. But you've got to say that it does pay off. Through Motul they go, and it is the number 34 that's doing a great job of Seth Dello, the young South Australian. So just having a look to see where his twin brother Ethan is. He's back in 13th position, but there's only about 2.5 seconds between the two brothers. But the unusual thing is, well, it's not unusual for this category. Yeah, not in this class. There's 10 riders in between them. Absolutely. I mean, it's just insane how close these races are normally. John Pelgrave moves up another spot into that podium position. Well, Johnny P doing a great job there on board his machine. Bike number 43, another graduate from the Blue Crew Junior Cup as well. Will Hunt on board bike number 46, still well and truly in that battle. He got off to a great start, but he's been swallowed up by this this group now. And he's fighting for position, fighting to maintain position in 5th. Through Kawasaki corner they go. Good to see Matt Ritter's recovered from that issue he had in the Supersport 300 race before for Race and Road to get back out in Shop Yamaha R3 Cup. He's sitting in 8th position on board bike number 23. Nixon. So obviously the airbag worked, it protected him. Yeah, 100%. Nixon Frost is there too in 12th, all the way from New Zealand doing the Australian Championship. Good to see. Nicholas Lazos deserved one after his race one, but unfortunately the jump start penalty thwarted that attempt, but he did do a great recovery and managed to minimise the damage as much as he possibly could. I think he went for possibly as far back as 11th to recover for a 7th, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, something like that, but missed out on a podium by moving about 3 inches when he shouldn't have. A lesson that he's learnt now. And unfortunately, you know, had the best ride of his career. He was in 3rd spot, but, you know, that was taken away from him due to the penalty for the jump start.
Do you reckon he may have been a little bit more conservative at the start of this race?
Well, you'd hope that he would have learnt, yeah?
So into Pirelli we go.
He's still in with a shot now of a podium with a couple laps to go. Still in with a big shot. He's not going to get 1st or 2nd, I wouldn't think. These guys are well up the road, 9 seconds in front.
And on the last lap, Mitch Simpson has uncorked the fastest lap of the race, a 1:45.859, just under 0.2 of a second fast. A bit of rev limiter action there at the end of the Blue Crew back straight as well.
Yeah.
Not sure which one of the brothers that was, and what can Geordie respond with on this lap, a 1:46.009 on the last lap. It was his fastest lap of the race, but it was almost 0.2 of a second slower than his brother.
I mean, how much are those guys pushing themselves? I mean,
well, look how far they are ahead, Steve. 10 seconds plus
Yeah.
over the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
Well, see, the thing is that we're missing Hudson Thompson, we're missing Valentino Knežević out of this, which has probably increased that gap a little bit as well, artificially over the rest of the field.
Lazos leads the way for 3rd.
Well, could this be the podium for Nicholas Lazos on board bike number 11?
The longest 3.93 kilometres of his life.
Well, the most intense as well, because he's coming under considerable pressure. Look at that. He's just gone back a few positions. Who's that rider coming around the outside on the Moto Go machine? Was that Phoenix O'Brien? On board bike number 85.
Phoenix O'Brien's in there. Nixon Frost as well. Seth Dello back up into that 3rd spot.
A few overly ambitious moves down into Pirelli, down into Motul Corner on that occasion.
Oh, who was that just dove up the inside? Was that Oscar Lewis?
I think it may have been on board bike number 56.
56, yep.
So half a lap to go now. This is the final lap. The decision on who will win out of the Simpson brothers will be decided on the final run down the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight. But the battle for the last place on the podium starts here, Steve.
It
to try and
does.
position yourself in the best position so that you can take advantage up the Blue Crew straight and then into the final complex of corners to make a slipstreaming lunge right at the line. We've seen it done plenty of times this weekend, and very important for all of these riders now to try and position themselves perfectly. I think Mitch might have this one.
Yeah, he's definitely got enough of a gap now. He's really been pushing on hard. And last lap through was another fastest lap of the race for him, 45.6. But Geordie Simpson got the quickest as he comes over the line for the final lap, and it is Mitch Simpson who wins from his brother Geordie Simpson. But who's going to win this one? This is going to come down to the wire.
Well, this could be any rider back in even 3rd and 4th position that takes the win. But who's going to play it best? I think you might find it could be Oscar Lewis. Is it Dello? Comes for a late charge at the line. Oh, Steve, it's so close. I think Dello did get it. He did get it by 0.068 of a second. No, Oscar Lewis has been put back up into a 3rd position, and the final margin has been quoted as 0.013 of a second.
That is close.
Well, congratulations to Mitch Simpson. 2 wins from 2 starts in the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup. Geordie Simpson back on the podium, and a great result for him to finish in 2nd position. Oscar Lewis in 3rd. That's his first podium in the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup. Seth Dello in 4th place. What a ride from him. What a ride from all of the riders in that group. Matt Ritter, William Hunt in 6th, Lazos in 7th, Pelgrave in 8th, Phoenix O'Brien in 9th. Then we've got Nixon Frost in 10th. And you can even say that Rossi McAdam and Ethan Dello were on the back of that group as well.
Yeah, 100% they were there. They were very, very close. Lincoln Knight, Mitch Cartwright back in 14th. Flynn Jacobs gets that final point. Tian Zhao in 16th. Zachary Russo in 17th. Alvin Wu in that 18th spot. 19th was Zane Beckinsdale, and Adam Jordan rounded out the field.
Let's head down to Chris, who's with our top 3 from Shop Yamaha R3 Cup.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Yeah, the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup always makes an exciting race. At the podium for 3rd place, Oscar Lewis. Congratulations, great to see you up here.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been such a tough weekend, but pull this off has just been great.
And looking forward to the next round?
Yeah, can't wait for the next round. Should be good. Yeah.
Well done, mate. There you go. That's our 3rd place, man. And now it's the Simpson brothers. I've got to get it in the right order. Second place, beaten by his brother again, Geordie Simpson. Congratulations, what a race, mate.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. It was good fun battling with my brother. Just we're struggling with a bit of rear grip, but yeah, no, he rode awesome all weekend, so congrats to my brother for the overall.
Oh, you were struggling for grip. You were a second faster than everyone else, so well done, mate. There you go. And I'll talk to your brother, Mitch Simpson. I mean, these two guys out in front, demolition. It was a show.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I can't ask for any more than that. Clean sweep in that class, so it would have been nice to get the pole, but we'll get it next time. So, but awesome weekend, so I'm happy. I'm absolutely ecstatic with that.
Congratulations again. Well done. Look forward to seeing you in Queensland.
Easy. Cheers, Chris. Thank you.
There you go. The podium finishes for the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup.
Fuel News Sydney at night, simply stunning. Thank you to the New South Wales Government for their continued support of the only night round of the ASBK series. Well, and welcome back to a sensational Sydney Motorsport Park. Thanks very much to the New South Wales Government and Destination New South Wales. Well, the Race and Road Supersport 300 category is out on track, and the big news coming out of Phillip Island, the first round of the championship, that Tara Morrison, the first ever female to win a race in this highly competitive category, she caught up with Chris Mueller.
Well, Tara, it's fantastic to say, last round, round one of this the championship in the 300 class, you got a win. Your first ever win in the championship. It's been fantastic to see. Tell us about that weekend for you.
It was pretty incredible. I mean, if I was going to do it anywhere, it was at Phillip Island, the most beautiful circuit in Australia, in front of the amazing crowd, the World Superbikes. But yeah, that was just, yeah, super happy about that. It's given me the momentum and drive and inspiration to do just a good job this year and look at the championship, yeah.
It's been good to watch your career progress, and we know last year you got to go to Europe. How was that for you? Did you learn a lot? Did you take a lot away from that?
So much, so much. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to Motorcycling Australia and everybody who was a part of letting me go there as well. But yeah, even getting to like debrief with Mike Jones and Taylor Ralph, Archie McDonald was just, yeah, I'm just super grateful for that experience. And then, you know, getting to race alongside some of the best in the world just, yeah, really raised my game. So it was good fun. It's good to be a role model to some of the younger girls out there that I didn't necessarily have growing up. But yeah, I can just see like the girls' faces when they come in and want to sit on my bike. It's just the best, so rewarding, yeah.
It's really good to see. It's been great to watch your career progress, and good luck for the rest of the year.
Thanks, Chris. Cheers.
Well, she certainly has made an impact, not only in the first race this year, Steve, but her first podium, I think, was just 12 months prior to that, wasn't it? At the same venue, and certainly a star on the rise is young Tara. But on the highlights was obviously Valentino Knežević, as he made his way off the AWF straight and into a Sydney.com corner, though. Jake Page was immediately around the outside, and he was away at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really good start from them. There was battles galore through the field, but it was Valentino Knežević who decided to go with those wet weather tyres, and he would ultimately pay for that, slipping back through the field. Scott Nicholson had a strong run, but he didn't have it his own way because the Simpson crash repair team there nearly had a little bit of work to do when they got back to the workshop, but they managed to hold it all together.
Yeah, they almost crashed into each other.
They certainly did.
So as he said in the race interview, though, he was in the middle of the Simpson sandwich there for most of the race. All the while, at the front of the race was Hudson Thompson and also Jake Page. In the end, 17 seconds ahead. Great win for Hudson Thompson. Jake Page, his first podium in the class, and Nicholson takes the final place on the podium. Well, he finished second in Supersport 300 race number 2 earlier on today, but he will start from pole position. Jake Page on board bike number 55, the Champions Ride Days machine. Valentino Knežević will start out at position number 2, and Scott Nicholson will start out at position number 3. Hopefully Hudson Thompson's out there, but I think, Steve, fair amount of damage to his bike. I think he will be out. Riley Norta and Geordie Simpson round out the second row.
Absolutely. Mitch Simpson there, Tyler King and Tara Morrison. We've heard about her on row 3. Ollie Short, Isaac Ayad and Mitch Cartwright is your row 4. Tommy Nicholson from Bendigo and Matthew Ritter and Nicholas Lazos from Victoria down there is your row 5. Will Hunt, Lincoln Knight, Rossi McAdam. Doubling up this weekend, Rossi McAdam from Western Australia.
Tripling up because R3 Cup as well. Remember, it was Hudson Thompson that took the win in race number 2. We'll see if he is out there on the grid. He should be starting from the second row. There's a couple of vacant grid positions there. Riley Norder has filled one of them, so Hudson Thompson is out. The good news is I saw him walking around with his leathers, so he is okay. The bike, possibly a little bit of repair needed. Ready for the next round. Race and Road Supersport 300, Steve, ready to go. Supersport 300 is go. Great start from Jake Page once again. Looks like Scott Nicholson has launched off the line well and will try and tuck into the slipstream as they make their way through Sydney.com corner. Riley Norder's got a great start as well from the second row of the grid, and both the Champions Ride Days machines are right up the pointy end, along with the Simpsons and Valentino Knežević. A fair fight this time for Valentino. He's got the same tyres as everybody else, and he's well positioned on the MotoGo entry.
Yeah, and there is Jake Page in the lead. The two Simpson brothers are up there too. Geordie and Mitch. Riley Norder got a great start. Valentino Knežević coming back from a bit of a rough weekend so far, but he's up there in that group. Oliver Short in 7th. Bad start for Tara Morrison, down in 14th, unfortunately for her.
Isaac Ayard has gone forward 3 places, and so has Oliver Short, so they've got off to great starts. They're in 7th and 8th position. You can see them back there. Oliver Short's, I think, still got his Oceania Blue Crew Junior Cup leathers on. There he is trying to go up the inside on board bike number 7. So keep your eye on Short. He's on a charge. Yeah,
he hasn't been in the game long. His dad, Ian Short, used to race a long time ago now, probably in the early 90s on Superbikes. So following in his dad's footsteps, and I tell you what, he's a quick learner because he's going pretty quick. Wow, that was a big dive up the inside there.
Tell you who got the best start out of anybody. Oscar Lewis came forward 10 positions in the run down through the first couple of sectors. So he's having a great first part of this race. Is Oscar Lewis trying to keep up with some of the riders in front of him, has really dragged him forward. But we go back to the front now, and you can see Valentino there just on the back of the top 4 as they make their way out onto the straight. So using the slipstream of Mitch Simpson to find his way past and move up another position.
Mornington Peninsula's Scott Nicholson leads the way at the moment, though.
Jake Page back into 3rd position. Looked like his teammate Riley Norder trying to utilise the slipstream from his teammate's bike as well.
Scotty Nicholson's got a lot of experience, hasn't he? He's raced 600s before. He was very successful at that. He's moved back into the 300s, let go of the brakes, and just brake that a little bit later. Good job there, Scotty.
Well, you can see that Geordie wasn't going to give up the position without a serious fight as Valentino tries to find a way past Jake Page on board the 55 machine. Will he get a chance down into SW Motec? No, Jake's too fast into the corner. Just having a look, Tyler King on board bike number 128 is also well positioned there. There he is, Steve, just going to the inside, trying to get up the inside of Mitch Simpson on board bike number 166. So Tyler King, this is the second race now that he's been up in that lead group, so putting on a great performance here in the final race of the evening.
Yeah, he really is doing a fantastic job, isn't he? The thing I've noticed about this racetrack is there's a lot of new names up the top. Like Tyler King doing such a great job. Ollie Short's right up there. Nicholas Lazos is up there as well.
Well, Isaac Ayard on board bike number 20, charging down the inside of Riley Norder. First year in the Supersport 300 category and doing a great job after graduating from the Blue Crew Junior Cup. Up the back straight we come, and through the final corners now at Yamaha. Revs your heart, and they will be gearing up for some slipstreaming as they make their way down the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight. Simpson in a great position there. That is Mitch Simpson in 4th position to take advantage of the big double slipstream in front of him. Watch Mitch with the green helmet on the yellow bike. Valentino going backwards as all of the slipstreamers make their way past. Good run there from Jake Page, and bike
Tyler King.
But Tyler King, he seemed to hit a bit of roar when he went past and pulled out of the slipstream. He seemed to almost stop and drop back into the pack.
I think he saw the front of the pack and he thought, well, I don't want to be there just yet. So he backed off and he's moved back, but he's definitely got the speed down the straight in that slipstream. It's helped him a lot. Up the inside goes Mitch Simpson. Not much of a gap there, though.
Couldn't shoehorn the Simpson crash. Simpson signs entry through. His brother Geordie fights back on the run down into SW Motec.
Valentino Knežević there takes a really tight line and entry there. He's looking like he's settling himself down a bit now. Keeps on the gas, looks up the inside as they head down into Pirelli corner. But he stays wide. He's not going to be able to do it there. Right on the back wheel of Mitch Simpson now. Oh, we got a faller.
I think that may have been one of the Team BWR machines, was it? Unfortunately, that rider's given his Recondi leathers a serious workout into Pirelli corner.
Yeah, we'll find out who that rider is shortly, but obviously red flag has come out as we have a look at the Blue Crew replay here.
I think he ran into the back of Tara Morrison there into that corner.
Yeah, he did.
Caused that crash. Tara was lucky to
yeah,
not go down in that incident as well.
Yeah, not sure who that was. Probably it may have been Matthew Ritter, actually.
Right, so it looks like we're ready to go racing now, Steve, after a bit of a delay. 5-lap journey for Race and Road Supersport 300. There goes Sam Phillips off the front of the grid. Supersport 300 is go. Great start from Valentino. Much better start from Tara Morrison. The Simpsons have got away well. Looks like Mitch has got a great start from the third row of the grid as we tip into a Sydney.com corner. Nicholson goes around the outside of Knežević, and Jake Page leads them through turn 1 and down into Motul for the first time. Here comes Riley Norder, his teammate on board bike number 42 as well. But Valentino sweeps around the outside. I think that was Geordie Simpson got in there very, very hot. Mitch said, thank you very much. I'll take up the running now in fifth.
A few riders wide there, but it's Jake Page who leads the way at the moment. Scotty Nicholson right behind him. Another great start by those two guys. And in that third place is Valentino Knežević.
Right, so it is the Queenslander Page that leads at the moment. The Victorian Nicholson trying to hunt him down. And the local man, the New South Welshman, Valentino Knežević. He lives not too far from the Sydney Motorsport Park venue, trying to, reclaim some local honour. The South Australians are right behind as well.
Yep, good to see those. And right behind them, Tara Morrison finally got a good start. She's moved up 2 spots from her starting position, so she's in 7th right now.
Oh, she's got to get away with this lead group, and then she'll be well and truly in the mix.
Yep.
As we come down into Kawasaki corner, you can see past the signs there, around the hairpin.
Riley Norder's there in 5th too. Good job by him. You can just see how close it is at the front in this one.
Nicholson looks like he's got off to a pretty good start as well, tucked in behind Will Hunt, just outside of the top 10. Lazos in 10th position has moved forward 5 positions as well off the start. Oh, I thought Valentino was going to try and go up the inside of Jake Page there into Yamaha corner. I thought that was overly ambitious.
Well, you know, he looked at it, and these guys are pretty, they can do pretty much anything out there. They can really move these bikes around, can't they?
Well, how's the slipstream from Valentino there? He got the slipstream from Riley Norder and both the Simpson boys as Jake Page uses the slipstream to go past Nicholson. Here comes Tara Morrison, Steve. She's come from the clouds. She's up into 3rd position as they make their way through turn 1. A couple of riders trying to go around the outside. That's an incredible lap from Tara, the first lap of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Swallowed up a little bit under brakes, but she can go in. Everyone else has gone wide. Holds it together.
Well, that was an unbelievable run down the straight on that occasion for Tara. She's in 7th.
Ollie Short's gone back down. Lincoln Knight's gone down.
Yep,
the
and
field.
Also, I think John Pelgrave may have reverted a couple of positions as well on that final run across the line. He did move forward a fair way from his starting position, but he's lost 1 or 2 of those positions. Well, is that something coming off there? I'm not sure what that was, but there was a bit of debris coming off. Looked like it may have been one of the Simpsons bikes as they made their way up towards Pirelli on that occasion.
Yeah, just... yeah, Ollie Short's got some sort of issue there. He's just falling back through the field, so not too sure. Looks like he's still circulating at the moment.
Oh, big crash. That's Valentino's gone down. It is Geordie Simpson off the track, one of the Champions Ride Day machines as well. I couldn't quite see who that was.
There was that puddle, you know, the little river up the top there. It looks like it possibly could have caught those guys out.
That would be Riley Norder on the Champions Ride Day machine, because we've now got Jake Page at the front on board bike number 55, Nicholson in 2nd, and Mitch Simpson in 3rd, and then a pretty decent gap back to the next rider on track, which is Isaac Ayard on board bike number 20, the port bike entry.
Oh, wow.
So Isaac having his best ride in this class, and he's now got Tara Morrison right on his tail as well. Tara will utilise the slipstream, exactly what Scott Nicholson is doing there to Jake Page as they come down to Sydney.com corner, and Nicholson back into the lead.
Yeah, Nicholas Lazos is up there too. Good start from him in this one to be in that top group. But it is these 3 out front that have a little bit of a 1.6 second lead over the rest of the field.
So Page back on the brakes. You can see a replay here as they came out of the corner.
Oh, that was, yeah, okay. That was
big moment
Nezovic.
for Valentino.
He lost the front.
And Geordie just had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, once again, on the wet grass, we know how tricky it is to try and keep the bike upright. Riley Norder's done a sensational job to keep the Champions Ride Day machine upright, and he should have rejoined the track a fair way down the field, but still on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Unbelievable how he can make that thing turn. He can break 1 or 2 bike lengths later and still get it to turn. He's on the gas hard and right on the back now of young Jake.
Well, you wouldn't think this guy is 13 years old and having his first season in the Supersport 300 category, the way he's riding.
Just drifted back into second spot now, and Mitch Simpson's putting the hammer down.
So Simpson up into the lead. Nicholson goes up into second. So Jake Page will have a good opportunity now to go to school on these two riders, two very experienced riders. Check their lines out. Of course, remember, we're on lap 4, so they will get the last lap board as they come round to complete this lap. So Jake Page is going to have to mount an assault now over this last lap if he wants to try and improve that third position. But at the moment, Steve, with a pretty handy gap, about a 4-second gap over Tara Morrison, you'd have to say he is short of a podium if he can greet the checkered flag, but I'm sure that young Jake wants more.
Absolutely. I mean, he really, really does, and he'll be pushing to the absolute limit to try and catch up to the 2 guys in front of him at the moment.
Well, look at Geordie. He's taken off. He said, I'm not going to hang around and listen to any shenanigans on this last lap, but Nicholson's just close enough to get the slipstream. You can see how much difference the slipstream makes. Look at that! He came from a mile back to go slipstreaming past, and Jake Page has caught right up to him as well.
He got him, look at the 3-4 bike lengths just from that slipstream. Now, how good is Mitch on the brakes? We saw him before. Here he goes on the brakes. He catches... He's past Jake and all the way on the back of Scott Nicholson now.
Well, there was nearly a 20-kilometre-an-hour speed differential between Nicholson and Simpson as they came down the straight on that occasion.
Maybe
and we could clearly see it there.
Yeah, but maybe he missed a gear because that's too much.
That is also about, 12 or 13 kilometres an hour slower than what Mitch Simpson's top speed has been in this race so far.
Yeah, so possibly he missed a gear or something like that, but...
Oh, I thought Jake was going to go up the inside there, Steve. He's just not quite close enough, but Simpson's pulled right up onto the back of Nicholson's machine. Can he repay the favour as they come down the straight? If he can just stick there as they come down through these final corners and slipstream Nicholson all the way to the line. They've left Page a little bit behind on the run through Racing Road and down into Kawasaki.
It's going to be close. Nicholson hard on the gas, picks the bike up. Right in the slipstream is Mitch Simpson. I think that Page is maybe a little bit too far back in saying that. If he gets a double slipstream across the line, how fast is Mitch Simpson into there?
He's very fast on the run into pretty much all of the the moment there for Nicholson.
What happened there?
Maybe he missed the gear or lost the front, but Page is going to get the slipstream here. He's in perfect position.
He is.
Can he pull out of the slipstream and go past them all? But Nicholson's bike is a rocket. He's just pulled away now, and Page will get second position, but Nicholson holds them all off to the line. Well, I'm not sure about that moment that he had there. But that was a big moment through the final corners. What about Tommy Nicholson? He gets up to get 4th position. That would be his best result.
Yeah, that's a fabulous result for Tom Nicholson.
Isaac Ayard,
yeah,
5th.
Really good for him. Tara Morrison in 6th. Nixon Frost, great ride in 7th. Nicholas Larzos made his way forward and ended up in 8th. And Matt Ritter up there in 9th. Phoenix O'Brien in 10th.
Wow, 5 laps of Supersport 300, super excitement. Racing Road Supersport 300 delivers once again, and it delivers for Scott Nicholson. He takes the win with a 1:45.681, the fastest lap of the race, and takes the race win by 0.2 of a second over Jake Page. Mitch Simpson in 3rd. Tom Nicholson, congratulations, your best result in 4th. Isaac Ayard, another best result in 5th. Tara Morrison in 6th. Nixon Frost in 7th. Larzos in 8th. Ritter in 9th, and Phoenix O'Brien graduates from OJC and takes a position inside the top 10.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. John Pelgrave in that 11th spot. Will Hunt in 12th as they come to the podium. Pretty impressive. Lincoln Knight gets that 13th, and how happy is Scott Nicholson?
perfect time to head down. Chris Vermeulen is with our top three, a very excited top three.
Yeah, it's the Race and Road Supersport 300 class. It always puts on exciting racing. Third place, Mitch Simpson. Got that smile here again. Congratulations, mate.
Yeah, it's just good to be back up on the podium. Would have been nice to get P1, but we gave it our all. The bike's been sweet. Thanks to Yamaha, everyone, JBD Property Services, Simpson Crash, Simpson Signs, everyone for all the help, and we came away with a good weekend, so I'm happy.
You should be very proud. Congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, Chris.
There you go. That's our third place. Second place, the 13-year-old that got special dispensation to race here, Jake Page. Well done, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah, it was a sick race. I thought that we had more people behind me, so I went defensive on that last lap. So, yeah, it was fun. Want to thank the boys. That was probably the sickest battle I've been in, and I just want to thank my sponsors and everyone who helps me. Mum and Dad for bringing me, Kelly for my socials, and yeah, I can't never be happier.
Well done. Congratulations. You're very well deserved. And our race winner. Again, Scott Nicholson, you managed that one. Bit of experience pays off sometimes.
Yeah, just tried to keep a cool head. Obviously, there was a red flag there, and it really played with like your head and the tyre temperature and everything. But no, it's good to come away with my first win of the season. Really happy. 5 podiums, 1 win, but we'll get more.
Well deserved. Congratulations. There you go. Our podium finishes for the Race and Road Supersport 300.
Plenty more action coming up in the Australian Superbike Championship. The next round is at Queensland Raceway, Mike Jones's home turf on the 2nd to the 4th of May. Then we go to Morgan Park, Queensland Raceway once again with the V8s for round 5. Phillip Island in September, One Raceway in October, and the traditional finale at the Bend in November. There's plenty more action coming up, and championships will go right down to the wire. Of course, ProMX, Wondaggi round 1, we've already had that. We've already seen that the next round is at Appin in just a couple of weeks' time here in New South Wales. Gilman in South Australia for round 3. Traralgon in Victoria, May and round 4. Warwick in Queensland for the round 5 extravaganza in June. Back to New South Wales and Nowra in July for round 6. Toowoomba is also round 7 in July, and then Queensland Moto Park for the final round in August. So there's plenty more action coming up, but we can't wait to see you at Queensland Raceway at the beginning of May. No, I was going to say we've probably got about 5 minute break now. Do you want to